What's going on, everybody? It's Luke here again, bringing you another Mr. FBA video. So today we are going to be doing a full review into SELLERBOARD. You can see websites here. I've been talking about it for a few weeks. You might have seen me discussing it or whatever. Might have seen it pop up somewhere. And I basically wanted to make sure that I actually knew all the little bits. Some bits are like sort of seller specific. You know, maybe I'm VAT registered or something. And I didn't want. Well, I wanted them to be fully understanding of all the different bits, so that I didn't give you the wrong information, basically, and then you start using it and start getting issues down the line. Now, when I say a full review, it'll be as full a review as I believe that I'm going to be taking this software so far, because I've looked at it and there are areas which I won't yet touch or won't yet use, just because I feel that I'm gonna use this as like a sort of an addition, yeah. So I'm also going to be doing some other bits on the side relating to this to make sure that I have as accurate figures as possible. Now you might be thinking, what is SELLERBOARD? So basically, for a while now, I've been trying to find some back end software. Or I haven't really looked into it enough. I looked at Cash Cow Pro and stuff. Some of them are more expensive. Some of them are like $69, $100, and it starts to get a bit pricey. Now, if you can see here, this starts from $19 per month. Now, I actually looked. It's about $22 because you've got to add some VAT or something on. So you pay $22, and that for most sellers that will be adequate if you're looking to actually get the software. What would that be? 16, 17, 18 pounds, probably about 17 pounds, 16 pounds. So basically it's so low that it's almost not going to be noticeable. You're not going to notice that difference. But what it does provide you is actually some real amazing insight to everything. So I'll go over it all now and I'll show you. And it says here you can get 1 month free trial, which is what I'm currently just using. I've got 5 days left and I'll sign up after this or whatever. But I've actually been given a code that they gave me because I actually said, is there any way to get more, like, I know that they offer incentives basically to like people that are willing to do reviews and stuff. And yes, I will get like a commission. And I looked at the commission ratings. It's like, I get like 30% for anyone that signs up, but I can't even withdraw the money until I've got £100 in the account. Like, that's how they get you. So how many people need to sign up if it costs you 16 quid a month? I'm going to have to be getting hundreds of people to sign up for this. I won't be seeing money for years. So, anyway, doesn't really matter. But what I have got is the code actually gives you 2 months free trial. Anyway, so whatever. It might take me three years time, probably be dead or whatever, It could be anything. It could be anywhere. Anyway, so let's get onto the video. Right, so you can see here, it does have like stuff that's basically it's got autoresponder and stuff. So some of this is to do with private label. So some of this I actually will show quickly, but you won't need to use it, yeah? Don't worry about half of this stuff. So it's sort of little extras, like it does email responding or something. Mobile version. Not an app. I tried to find an app. It'd be really nice if you could get apps. So you could basically run your Amazon business from your phone, but most of it you have to go on and log in. So it looks like this, very similar to this, and it gives you very nice today's sales, yesterday's sales, I'll go over each section. It gives you, I've had a quick look and double checked all of this. It has nice profit and loss views and other bits and bobs. So what I'm going to do is just jump onto my account and basically show you everything. So you can see here, this is like an email response, which you'd probably use for private label and not for online arbitrage. So I haven't looked at that. So that's what I mean. There's areas where I'm not going to be going into because it's just not relevant for what I need to do. So when I say full review, it's only full review believing what I'm going to use it for. And I could change over time. But for now, that over a month, I've sort of looked at everything it does. So I've actually gone and filtered not this December, but the December that I did before, so 2017, just so I can show you all of the data without having to hide half of it, because it's obviously going to give you all the stuff that I'm selling or whatever, you know what I mean. So if I do this, I can actually show you it easier. Otherwise, half the screen would just be blurred out and it'd be pointless to watching it. So this is basically December, basically all of December for 2017. So 2 years ago. Oh yeah, 2 years ago now. So you can see here, sales, orders, refunds, units, You get the point. And if you actually click that, it would give you this breakdown. Now this isn't correct. The reason it isn't correct is because obviously I could go back and input all the old data, Basically, you've got to go and put the value, well, the purchase cost to all your products, so it can give you a good. So expenses, for example, says 0. It's so far back that it's really, you want to be doing it month by month. So yeah, you might not be able to do very good comparisons from the get go, because a lot of the information is like, not, this is so old now, 2 years old. I don't really want to waste my time adding all the information in when I can't. I wouldn't. I'm not going to really need it or want to use that information. So I'm not going to really look at 2017 anymore to do stuff. Whatever I was doing then is not really what I'm doing now. Just to go through all of those different items, it's just, yeah. But the good thing is that once you input, just like all the other softwares, once you connect up to your Amazon account, it will pull through. It's literally all the way through from your very first sale, and it will show you all the items. Oh, look at this, yeah. Remember, see, this is the item I was telling you about. At least you can actually see that I'm not like just saying it. Wow, that was $79.99 then. Jesus. All right. Anyway, this is the product that I obviously told you that I was selling again this year, just so you can see I'm not making it up. 171. This is only for December as well. Imagine what I did all Q4. Anyway, yeah. So none of these items I sell anymore, pretty much. But maybe the odd one, I don't know. But yeah, you get the gist. So you can see all the items here, and it will obviously. So it will show you for. So you can obviously go in. What you can do is you can go in here, and you can basically just choose your set time. So what it starts off with: today, yesterday, a month, and last month. So this month, it will show you currently total January. It will show you today, yesterday, and it will give you last month. Yeah, but I'm not going to go on to that, because then all of the items down here will show you what I basically sold today and yesterday, and I'll end up having to block all this out, and it's just not worth it. So you can see all the items, and even notice I must have added it again here. So you can see a lot of these items have cost of goods at a value, and some of them are blank. And that's basically because I haven't gone through every old item to give me a true representation of this. So really, you want to, I believe if you do it properly, yes, it might take you some time to add all the prices in, but if you look, it's giving you really nice margin. It gives you the margin, the ROIs. The only problem I think you will get is if you buy a product at various prices. So what I've decided to do on some grocery items, like it will fluctuate a little bit. I've sort of taken the mean, whatever one it is, basically the average. Yeah, I've used the higher price, because like any software, it's not going to be 100% accurate down to the penny. So if you did it manually on everything, you would get an exact. That's what I used to do. It used to take days, literally take at least one day, but maybe like 4 or 5 hours over a couple of days, because I didn't want to spend the whole day, like 12 hours doing it. Yeah. And yeah, you used to get a very accurate price thing, because I used to literally just do every transaction. So imagine, like, I used to basically pull off 1,000, whatever, how many orders, 1,125 orders, and each single entry I would actually put the buy price to sell price. Then I'd have an expenses sheet where I used to add all the expenses, go over my bank statement, or add all the expenses in, put all that in, all that stuff in. Then I do all Europe would be separate, so you'd have to do 5 countries. And the good thing is this is across all countries. So it basically, this is not, you don't have to go onto a separate drop down to go across all your other countries. It's all here, all marketplaces. You can go and do it, but you get, yeah. I mean, that would be nice to do a comparison, wouldn't it? To see maybe what items are selling really well in Europe, because a lot of people will overlook Europe. I know that whole Brexit email came out the other day, and it might be a bit uncertain after March, was it? But until then, you can just carry on, end of March or something. But that's quarter, so you could have a look what sells best in these countries and then buy things according to that. Obviously, it's not going to be relevant now, so let's have a quick look at it as well. Just kind of curious. So I sold that BB-8 thing across all the countries anyway. So probably sharp, yeah. But it's just interesting to see what the margins or the ROI is compared to in each marketplace, because then you might find out on the UK. So I'm guessing this is going to be an average. Yeah, it will be. So on the front page here, this is going to be an average. So that won't be exact. That won't be sort of. It's up to you. You can either take it. You could use the average as your. Well, a lot of companies will use averages because obviously things change, but it's more like the average. So like over 3 months, the average ROI would be 100%. Well, so it's irrelevant really where it's selling at what price, because overall it's still going to be 100% for that item. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, there's loads of bits like here, but I haven't played around with that. I don't know what this. So you can see, yeah, and it's really good. So if you actually input this properly, so you put all your cost of goods correctly, you put, I don't think a lot of this you wouldn't have to do. So all of this was automatic. Refunds will be automatic. The only thing you're going to have to do is expenses, which is down here. I'm not going to click it because it will show you all my expenses. But it's obvious. All you do is you go onto it and you basically add for each month. And you can basically click a button that says every month. So accountancy fees, I pay 75 quid every month. That just builds up into a pot and then pays for the year end and all that sort of thing. And yeah, and basically like I can put every month and it will just add £75 every month. So it will add up in here and then it will basically just pull off. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. Or you can do individual, so one-off payments. Salaries, whatever, all your expenses. But the only other thing I was thinking is that, you know, where I was saying you can't rely on it 100%, because yes, if you're just doing OA, but what if you're getting a little income from other things? What if you're doing, you know, a lot of people are doing online arbitrage, but they may be doing something else on the side. Maybe they're doing a little bit of retail arbitrage on the side, yeah? Well, that's not going to be, it's not going to be here, is it? Or you're, I don't know, maybe you're getting a little bit of affiliate commission from something you've done or do or whatever, yeah. Or you're doing Udemy as well. So you're going to have to use these figures, maybe just pull them across. You can pull up the reports as you need and as you want, and do it that way. So I'm going to be using a lot of this. I'll show you what I'm going to be using this for. So I think if I'm going to click on one of these in a second, so I'll show you across here. So let's click on charts. So a great things that you can do is this, yeah, so this is basically Q4 but 2 years ago. Now I haven't really played, I don't want to play around with too much because I'm not gonna, it's basically just showing you a graph version of all this, but this is obviously what I showed you over on here. So like it's basically just this, and if you want to see all of Q4, well, you just go here, custom range, do that. Yeah, so you can use all these others, but it's just showing you the same stuff as here. So like P&L, for example, it's literally just showing you the same information, but it's just split over the months. Yeah. Obviously that is the amalgamated amount, but it's the same. So, and I'm sure you can just pull off the reports as you need. So for me, I probably won't be messing around with half of this. Really, I want to be knowing, so I would actually do like, you know, month by month, add more my expenses in, so it's basically the profit is more accurate. Now here you see VAT. Well, it's now got me on a VAT there, but back then I didn't pay VAT. So the interesting thing is, actually no, I did for like a month, I think. So the interesting thing is that so what you can do here, so I'll show you quickly. So if you want to know what you're selling a lot of and at good, so you can click, I don't know if I'm going to be using cash flow, to be fair. I probably won't be using cash flow. Now I will have to block some of this out because it doesn't actually let me do, this is just showing you some stuff that I've got in stock at the moment and I've been selling. So you're basically, I have to hide a bunch of this. And actually I've got like no items in inventory. I basically, like the last sort of after Christmas, I let everything just sell out. And I've only just started replenishing. I started replenishing last week, but I'm basically, this week's going to be a push to get in, like, I want to get my inventory like 3-4 times what it is already just by this week. So a lot of these boxes and that we like here, how much I get in stock, it's going to be pretty crappy and stuff, but it doesn't matter. We want to see what it is. So it's got cool thing, stock value. So you can actually go in and basically see what your current stock value is, which is a really cool thing because it was always a bit of an unknown There was reports I used to do, but things always change on Amazon where they stop. They provide you information sometimes, and they get rid of it, and then they change it, and you know what it's like. You want to do something, and it sort of does it a little bit, but not. You can't really. You're not 100% sure. But here it's pretty nice. It's giving you basically the stock value as of the costs, but like. So it's quite nice if you want to have a quick, offhand, like, what is my total inventory valuation? And it's cool here, days of stock left. It's basically just giving you a rough estimate. Running out of stock, yes. Time to reorder, yes. So it's giving you some quite interesting bits. But there is no way, well, there's a little alert thing at the top which shows you to restock. But you have to sort of log on. There's no way for it to do like a push notification. So what I'm actually going to do is, well, I went in to Amazon and basically added replenishable alerts or replenishment alerts. I basically said when an item drops below 5, for example, 6, or whatever number you want, I get an email. And that's what I'm going to be doing on the replenishable side. If it's not a replenishable item, there's no point me doing it. You might want, if you really want to, maybe you get a virtual assistant to do it, and then by chance, if you can, buy it again, that sort of thing. So you know as early as possible to try to get it. Maybe you bought it today, bought 5. It's already been booked into by tomorrow, by Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's then. You've done all your sales 5, and you can still go back because the deal's on until Thursday. Get what I'm trying to say? So maybe, obviously, but if you didn't have that notification, you would maybe wait till Friday. Go, oh look, they're all sold out, but then it's too late. So yes, you could get a virtual assistant to do that, but to spend all your time doing it, it just depends on your priorities, I guess. But I've done that through the Amazon Seller Central against each of the products. Just go into my inventory basically. And there's a little click button on the right which gives you options, and I just did it through there. So here is pretty nice. So the cool thing I was looking at is like you can basically you can put comments and stuff, but I'm not going to really worry about that. It's probably more of a virtual assistant if you want to incorporate your virtual assistant, which you could do really well with this. So I probably will bring a video out because there was a video about replenishing, like getting a virtual assistant to do stuff, and this would actually be a bit easier to get the information. So anyway, you can click this little ROI button here, and you can obviously see what the ROI is. Now, obviously, because I said, so it basically will just give you, let's have a look what this is. Yeah. So a lot of this I'm not going to really worry too much about. The only thing I would look at is, for example, I would look at the highest ROI and maybe think, okay, that'll be the one I want to replenish first, yeah? And if it says no, obviously don't reorder because you've got stock in, and it's saying you don't need to reorder, fine. So, but it's a really quick way to see what your top ROI products are, and if you actually need to see if you could replenish. Maybe you can't, but I know that item, yeah, it doesn't take you very long to go down the list, and you can even down here export, import. It just depends on how you want to do it. You obviously build your own processes up over time. I will do the video, which will probably then be about exporting it and then filtering the ones that are highest ROI. And basically, I always find that if you've got £1,000 to spend, well, surely you're better off replenishing the items that are highest ROI and need replenishing. Maybe you can't, but go down the list. And then you would once you've done all your replenishables in that way, if you know that you need to replenish because you've built up your replenishables list, which is, I believe, extremely important for online arbitrage and during Q4 2019. Like definitely for Q1, for me, I'm going to be using that a lot because you can see these ROIs on them, and not all of them are going to be replenishable, but half maybe, because I just know the items and I know. So it's a real quick way to basically minimize your outgoings, but maximizing your minimizing what you're basically spending on stock, but using as much information as you can to predict the highest number of sales and profit that you'll be basically getting back. If you see what I'm trying to say, because that this item might not do 128%, it might do 100, but it's going to probably do more than the items down here that are doing 57%. Yeah. So start at the top, work your way down, and you can get a virtual assistant to export that. Get rid of all the ones that say time to reorder. No. Maybe keep the ones that say soon. I don't know. And then you can just work down your list. And if you don't need to replenish it because you've still got some in stock, so maybe you bought 10 and it's saying yes, but you think, oh, sorry about that. And you think if that does that again, it's going to be really annoying. And yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. So you might think, oh no, I'll wait. I don't need it just yet. But maybe you're doing your replenishables every day, and therefore you can wait. Maybe you're doing it every week. Maybe you're doing it every 2 weeks. I don't know how you're going to be, how a virtual assistant could do it, or how you're going to do it. So you might need it every week to do it, but you get on. Sorry, I'm going to keep saying the same words now. So okay, so that will be, what was that? Stock. So then you can go down here. The next item is products. Yeah. So again, this will all be blocked out because you can't filter on that, but that's fine. You don't really need to see what it is. So you can see here, FBA. I would just leave that as that. I guess you can decide, but basically this is what I'm talking about here. So cost, yeah. So the product is what I'm putting as cost, and usually it's not. Usually it's. I'm just putting the average. So you can go here and basically click this button here. It's by period. The problem is, it just looks really, so it's like inbound date. So I mean, I'll probably do this, but I don't want to play around with the settings too much and just muck everything up before everything. So at the moment, I'd rather just either use the high. It depends on the products. If it's only like a little bit out, so instead of it being, sometimes I've got it at £6, sometimes I've got it at £6.30 buy price. I don't mind putting £6.30 because most you build up, and a lot of products you just buy once anyway, won't you? So and you could just input it as and when. So I do believe you can, if you really want to have completely accurate product like data. I mean down to the penny, but it's just like it has different countries. I just don't want to. I mean, for example, yeah, I guess you could buy. That if you sent it, it was inbound between. I know if I bought it and like basically now I'm sending it in this week, you would put the 7th, the date, I guess, like that. But I just didn't want to play around with it. Basically, I'd rather just do this for the moment, and over time you can expand and drill it through and like really like iron out all the kinks. So that's why I'm saying, just for me right now, I'm not going to do that. So now you might be wondering, what does this VAT mean? Yeah. Now, if you click on here, it will pop out all of the breakdowns. So the price selling is this. The cost, is that right? I'll just do it on this one. So yeah, $6.30 I was just showing you then. The price it sells for. Now I checked this against BuyBot Pro because I wanted to make sure that this and this obviously come out correctly, because otherwise all of the data that you potentially might go off is going to be wrong. Yeah, you get what I mean? And these two that was about 2p out, but it does say estimates will not be 100% accurate. Like anything, unless you're going to spend hours and hours doing it, it's more about the bigger picture. If you're doing 100 grand in sales, for example, and you're making 28 grand profit, or you might make 27,950, yeah, because you've got pennies missing here and there. But it's more to do just create like a lean system, maximizing your time so that you have more time to actually create wealth generating assets. That's what I'm going to be focusing on this year as much as I can. And yes, it might not be as much as I dream of, because obviously things take time, but I found that if you're spending all your time just sort of running around doing this, that, and the other, blah, 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 you sort of end up just not really growing or getting. Long term, I think it actually hinders your growth, basically. Whatever it might be. It might not be in Amazon. It could be you might want to do something to do with like ebooks or something, but you haven't got the time because you're faffing around with all the the little technicals and the bits and bobs. And a lot of like successful people will say that, there's something from Jim Rohn, I think he said, that when he was younger, he didn't want to spend $40 a month on outsourcing his accountant. He spent all this, he spent all this time. Basically, he actually ended up spending more because he was doing nothing but the accountancy. And yes, he saved 40 quid, but he lost 400 sorry, quid, dollars, but he lost 400 because he's spending all his time on it. He had no time to do anything else. Yeah, and that's what I'll be doing this year. So it is slightly out, but where it's only 2p, this is actually identical. This is correct, and this was actually slightly out. And you might find that BuyBot Pro is the same. It's not what you're actually going to see on your like Amazon account might be a couple pennies different off that. You get what I'm trying to say. So BuyBot Pro and this are going to give you as close as they can, and that's VAT. Now I'm not on the standard 20%. I'm on the flat rate at 7.5. And this VAT figure was not pulling out the same as BuyBot Pro. The BuyBot Pro has given me the correct figure, but this was giving me not the correct figure. And so I basically wasn't sure how to play it. I did put 7.5 here, and now I put 8.10. Well, you get what I mean. But actually, what's happened is it just seems that this was actually closer to the real VAT figure, which is just weird. So what I'm going to probably do is get rid of this and put 0.00. I'm not going to save it just now. I have to go back over all the items. And what that will do is if you go back to the dashboard, what that's going to do is in here, that will create a VAT figure of 0. And what I'll then do is, because I know what the sales figures are, yeah, I'm going to then just do it manually because it doesn't take very long to, well, I can't remember, I did a test, I think I did like a random October, so I looked at my sales that Amazon has told me and this, and it came out exactly the same. So the sales, and obviously the best way to do it is I would say just check. It's very simple. You can there's a report on Amazon. If anyone really wants me to tell them where it is, I can. So just literally it's like a simplified report summary by month, and it tells you there's a figure that it comes out. So it basically does your sales, get rid of your returns and all that stuff, because obviously if you're getting a return, it doesn't count as a sale anymore. And it gives you a figure for the month, and that figure is what you would use for basically your income. No, like what you go for the turnover. Yeah, there we are, turnover. And the figure matched October, so I did October that way because I wanted to work out my VAT and make sure it was not wrong. I wasn't just taking a random figure off here and it was not the right one, and it was matching. And obviously, I probably will still double check a couple of times, but yeah, I'll do it that way because it's just going to be easier. But it does look, it's very accurate, and that way I can then, as long as I've got the cost of goods, even if that's slightly high, that's fine. Because remember what I said about that item, if I'm going to average it out, or if I'm going to put it at a slightly higher cost, because I know it's not much different overall. Some items are literally like 5 to 10p difference sometimes, and they're usually at the higher price, like 80 to 90% of the time they're going to be at the higher price. So I decided to take the higher price. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the VAT, so it's actually just. So basically, whatever it comes out, I just have to take VAT off of the figure. I'm going to input the expenses every month. So I literally will go over them. I'll either do it as I go, and I've started anything that's recurring is already input. So it's just the non-recurring ones. You have, so like even for example, like let's think, like labels or boxes. Yeah, you don't know exactly how many you might need, so you might buy a bulk of 2, 3, and so on. Or you might not, or you might need like extra ink cartridges. Obviously, if you're not prepping yourself, you get what I mean by that. But most of it will automatically just roll over because you can set it as recurring. But the real nice thing about this is that you can play around with the margins here, and the ROI and all that sort of thing, which is really nice because it gives you a bit more. You do know what's selling well, what percentages and stuff. You can see here. Don't worry. I know this is going to be slightly out, just because it's old data. But I'm just trying to give you. You can play around with this and just. For example, you might want to know. Okay, so say this is most recent data. Say, okay, how many should I reorder? Well, if you really want to go on an average, you can go 171 divided by 3. This is Q4. Oh no, it's not, but pretend this is Q4. And then you go, okay, so it's selling that much on average, or this is per month. Okay, I'm selling 50 per month. So how many shall I replenish? Well, maybe I don't want to eat up a lot of my capital and have it sitting in stock. So maybe I want 10 days. I want a third of the month covered each time. So I only have to replenish this item if you can replenish it, because I think back in the day you could when it actually was selling for good money. Well, all right money, I guess. You could replenish it. So, and I know it's going to take 3 days for it to be delivered, so you can work out a good system for knowing how to keep it as clean or as lean as possible, so you're restocking at the right time, and maybe you're not doing it too late or too early, so you're either missing sales or you're having money tied up in stock too long. Yeah, and you could just build up a really nice system of this. So I could go on. I think I've done it already. I've looked at the last 2 weeks. So after, I'm not, because obviously Q4 is going to be different to what it is in January. So I've looked at the last 2 weeks since after Christmas. I think that's about after Christmas, isn't it? And I've looked at what's sold over that time. So I know that that's not relating to Christmas sales. It's after. And actually, that data might not even be relevant either, because it's sort of it's like a transition period between Christmas and New Year's. And I mean, what are people's buying habits like then? Not sure. But I use it as a rough guide. And I just saw, okay, well, it's sold over 2 weeks, 15. Okay, so should I order 10? Or should I order 15? Or should I order, if you've got loads of money, should I order for a month so I don't have to worry about it? And you know how you want to play it basically. And yeah, it's just really nice. Instead of having to spend ages pulling off all this data, or crawling, whatever, basically going through all the information and finding out what's the best margin. Or I'm going to have to get a calculator out. That's tapping around this thing. Before you know it, your eyes will blurry because you're just looking at a calculator all day. Here, nice and easy, seamless. I guess you can. Oh, it doesn't let you download that report, but there's reports here. I'm not going to muck around yet downloading reports. If I have a virtual assistant, I need to get some virtual assistants this Q1. I want to get a handful to start outsourcing a lot of stuff, because I had a couple before and they left just before Christmas and stuff. So I need to get around to basically getting new VAs, and I will actually do a proper video on that, because you have to sign up. It costs $50, something like that, to sign up to onlinejobs.ph. And I didn't want to just sign up to do a video and then not actually do anything before Christmas. So I will show you that video and how to actually source a virtual assistant, what template to use, I'm literally going to show you everything, because it doesn't really matter that you see what I see, because so many people apply for these jobs that it's not like it's a very sparse market. You can just put it out and you get 100 applications in 2 hours. Yeah. So I'll show you that, and then I'll obviously that's when they would probably pull off these reports. Like I said, sort things, pull the reports off, and then because they're going to work at Filipino time, they can just hand you an Excel spreadsheet every morning or every week, or however you want to sort of play it, and then you can go straight away. You're replenishing that, yeah. And then you're like, right, and that's moving to the fresh stock or the new stuff to buy, and you can sort of act like that. But this is really, really nice, because you can, if you look at the day to day, I'm not going to click it because it'll show you today and everything yesterday, but you can compare today's to yesterday's. The profit that you've made on each day. So day to day, you can even monitor by week. So how much profit did you make this week? Yeah. So you can actually get literally a live state of play, if you get what I'm trying to say, rather than maybe doing it every month. Because I used to do it every month, so I didn't actually really know what has happened till the month was up. And wouldn't it be so nice to be able to see day to day? So I know I made £200 today, or I made £4,000 today, or last week I made $2,000. So that's covered me. Maybe you have a minimum amount that you need to cover, like expenses and stuff, and you can basically, you'll be able to feed off that, because you'll be able to act in a better frame of mind. You won't be wondering, oh, I wonder what that was. Shall I buy more of that? Do I need to do this? Do I need to, you will know straight away what your plan is, basically. So anyway, I know there's a lot more that you can probably click and wonder. I haven't gone through, but for me, what I've just shown you is what I'm going to be using it for right now. And yeah, I can use it for 6 months, get a virtual assistant involved, and then bring out an advanced review. But for me, this at the moment is far better than I've been using from ages, for years, or a year, you know. And it's so cheap. It's $19, and I'll leave the link in the description for like for 2 months trial. Worst case, just I don't know, sign up under a different email address and debit card or something. You know, if you've got a handful of debit cards, just reel that off for 6 months. However you want to play it. But hopefully I brought you some nice insight. And to me, this is like the cheapest software that I know that gives you the most, most, whatever you want to call it, reward or benefit, that'll do. For like 16 quid a month. It's like, you know, and you could even come on every day. Like, what did I sell yesterday? Do I need, you know, you can just use it for so much. And yeah, it will take you a bit of time to really get the full value out of it, because you will, it's like anything, you need to be using it day after day to start seeing things that it is capable of doing. Just like with Amazon, over time you experience growth, and then you see things that you never saw before. Maybe it's how you read products, how you know to buy it, seasonal, you know, so on and so on. And that will be exactly what this will be. So over the months, the more you use it, the more you would get huge benefit out of it. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video and it's given you some cool insight. And if you really want to go through all these old products I sold to see if you can sell them, then knock yourself out. But yeah, anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Any questions, let me know down in the description below. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, you can click that bell notification if you want to be notified of my videos as soon as they come out. And yes, I'm talking very fast. But yeah, have a good evening, and I'll see you on the next video.